on Mars screenings beforehand. Everybody stands up, so let's all stand up. We're going to have to turn it up a lot louder during this. So on the count of 3, we're all going to say, "Hell yeah, motherfucker, rock out." So here we go. 1, 2, 3. Hell yeah, motherfucker, rock out! Good. I just got off the phone with Wayne Coyne, the lead singer of the Flaming Lips, in the lobby. He couldn't be here tonight, but he has a message for you guys at the university. He says, "Please smoke pot and have sex during the screening." We're going to do a Q&A afterwards. Without further ado, Christmas on Mars. Thank you for having me.
You said that it was filmed in Oklahoma City. What parts did you use? And also, I noticed that Steve Burns is in the movie. Is that the same Steve Burns from Blues
Clues? Yeah, same guy. Steve Burns was just one of those guys like Adam Goldberg or Fred Armisen that would come to the Flaming Lips shows, and he would be backstage just hanging out. He's a fan of the band and their music.
So he's a roadie.
Sort of, yeah. A famous roadie. And yes. So Wayne, as you know, when we film these scenes, he'd be like, "Maybe you'd be perfect," not thinking that they would really want to be in the film, but as it turns out, I was telling some people last night, Elijah Wood actually signed up to be in the film, got him a flight, and he flaked out at the last second, so maybe that's for the best. Anyway, what was the second part of your question?
What parts of Oklahoma City did you use for filming?
Oh yeah, we first started filming in this abandoned warehouse that was like a place for homeless people. So you go in there late at night when we'd film and it was dark and you were always sort of worried that you were going to get your head cut off or something. It's an axe murder. But yeah, mostly in Oklahoma City at this warehouse, and then finally they put a lock, because this guy was letting us shoot in there, they put a lock on the fence, so there was a couple of times where we had the cast and crew just had to break in and shoot at this warehouse. But we did one shoot in Austin, Texas, where I live, but most of it happened in Oklahoma City. Finally, Wayne got sick of breaking into places, so he just bought a warehouse in Oklahoma City that we turned into a makeshift film studio. I went to art school at the University of Oklahoma, and in 1992 met Wayne because I worked on an animation, actually, this music video called Frogs that we did when I was in art school. And, you know, the great thing about Wayne is he's pretty loyal to the people that he works with, and he could get anybody to direct and shoot his music videos and work on his films, but thankfully, you know, I've sort of made my career out of working with those guys, and yeah, I just met them in art school shooting music videos, not because I was the best, because I was available, I think. Initially, Wayne would come to me with his storyboards, and that's all he really had. And the other guys, you know, they have kids and wives, and Wayne's really, once he decides he's going to do something, whether it's a record or a painting or whatever he's doing, a film, he gets really obsessed with it. So the other guys acted in the film whenever he asked them to, but essentially they were his concepts, and he and I would collaborate on the storyboards and the dialogue, but mostly it's Wayne's vision. Concurrently with the making of Christmas on Mars, I was making my film, which was a documentary called The Fearless Freaks. And basically this all started because Wayne came to me and said, "Hey, I have this idea for a film, will you help me make it?" And I said, "Sure, but you need like a real director of photography, because I don't consider myself such, and you need a crew, and you need a script, maybe?" And he was like, "No, we don't need any of that stuff. Just you and me, we can do this thing together." What was the original question? I got kind of sidetracked.
Oh, it was how long it took to build?
Oh yeah, the sets. So yeah, most of the time it would be myself and maybe one or two of my documentary film crew guys, because we're filming everything that Wayne does, and he literally built all those sets out of hot tubs and spare parts, and a lot of times you see the astronauts have air filters like from a car, and Mark DeGraffney, we called the boy the real crude guy, is a used car salesman, always has his shirt off. He's really a used car salesman in Oklahoma City, not an actor. I know that's hard to believe. He's like, hey, Wayne, Brad, man, that's going to look like an air filter there on film. We're like, well, maybe it's all the better if people are noticing that close. But yeah, Wayne Coyne hand-built all the sets himself completely from scratch. So I don't know if you follow the story that close, but the film takes place within 24 hours, on Christmas Eve to Christmas Day. And for continuity-wise, it's kind of tough when you're shooting over the course of 7 years because people lose weight and have babies and lose teeth and have teeth added, whatever. But the instrumentalist in the Flaming Lips, Stephen Droz, at the time we started shooting, was hooked on heroin to the point where he was down to about 170 pounds. And there's a scene in my documentary, The Fearless Freaks, in which he shoots up on camera and we sort of talk about what this is doing to his life. And actually, it's a DVD extra, him talking about being hooked on heroin during the filming. And although he's a great actor, it was affecting his work. And also, thankfully, now he's off heroin. But he ballooned up to about 230 pounds. So I don't know if you know, like, from one scene to the next, he'll be like 170 pounds with all his teeth, and then the next scene he'll be, 230 pounds and missing some teeth because he was having teeth work because the heroin was rotting his teeth. But we never really, took time to. I think if you worry about those things as you're shooting, you'll be like, man, we have to wait for Steven to get off heroin, or we have to wait for him to gain 50 pounds. You just won't make the film. And that was sort of the spirit that I liked about Wayne is, most guys have scripts when they approach you to make a film. And if I would have said, I think we have to have a script, or we're not going to do this, we never would have got done. So I'm just glad that we pushed through and made the film with the resources we had.